started this morning, and I know Vicky's going to be coming in. And I'll start out right away by just reminding everybody that the information, dialogue, and ideas that are presented in, which emerge from this meeting or from the broadcast, if you're watching on our YouTube live channel, or in recorded form, do not constitute official company communication. For those interested in official company communication, there are a number of sources available, most notably expworldholdings.com. And we'll start this morning. I think it was last Tuesday night, the last night really of the conference, when there were a bunch of people in the lower level of the hotel, and had a chance to say hello to Amanda Williams and both from North Carolina. And interestingly, you had indicated when we spoke, and you guys can make your way up here if you would, just come on over to the ramp. You had indicated that you had just arrived at the conference on Tuesday night, the last night. We're coming from a pretty interesting place, doing some pretty interesting things. And I know there's stuff that you can share about that, and I know there are things that you can't yet share about it. So I'm going to avoid putting you in any difficult position. I'll let you go ahead, turn on your microphone, and tell us all about it to the extent that you can.
Hi, good morning, Jason. This is Lucy Park. Can you hear me?
Perfectly. Morning, Lucy.
Okay, great. I'm actually on my eXp World app. So Amanda and I, we both joined eXp this year, and we've been working closely together for the last few months. And we were really, personally, we feel eXp is our company, and we wanted to take it to the next level. So we both owned our own brokerages prior to joining. We both have an eye for the entrepreneurial growth potential, and we knew after seeing eXp, it would only take our careers to new heights, and it has. To the opportunity that we were presented with, it was just out of the blue. We have a friend that knows the casting director for a reality TV show, and our friend could invite any company he wanted, and he asked us if we could come on the show with him, knowing about eXp's continuing explosive growth. And this opportunity would give us exposure to about 5.6 million viewers up to the point and on the day of the show airing, which will be sometime in June of next year. And when we know that date, we will let everybody know on the private Facebook page. We'll let everyone know, and we'll have a big viewing party here in Raleigh, North, where we both are. And I have to say that from the very beginning, Amanda and I are totally stunned to some degree, but not really, at the immediate support that we got from Glenn Sanford, the founder of this company. And we voxed him to us immediately and said, absolutely, we're on board. We'll do whatever it takes to support you. And corporate did, and we were very grateful. They also gave us the ability to wear the eXp logo. And we had apparel made up literally overnight. And we have that exposure as well. So the reason we did this is because we wanted to portray just the dream. What is the potential of what our lives could be? And eXp that Amanda and I are riding, and we absolutely know eXp will take us there, and we will absolutely enjoy the journey. So this is going to portray the lifestyle of, we're on an excursion, and that's all I can say. It's just stunning, the setting we were in and the experience we had. And then we came directly from where we were, international. It was an international trip, and we came to Fort Lauderdale because we did not want to miss, eXp Con. Last day, that was the best we could do. And we were so excited when we talked with Jason, and Jason said, could you talk at the leadership meeting? We were like, absolutely. So does anyone have any questions? Otherwise, I just wanted to let everyone know that we're proud of eXp. And when we know that when we help expose our company, it's going to help everybody. It's going to help the stock. It's going to help our company grow. And we know that the model is just bar none the best business model I've ever seen as a realtor. And I've been in the business for 20 years. So
I have one question, if I could, and certainly if anybody else, go ahead, turn on your microphone and ask. You guys, I think you said you were both former brokerage owners?
Yes, I do commercial and residential real estate, and I have two companies, a commercial and a residential, and Amanda has a brokerage as well, and she does residential. we both have our own brokerages, and we still do, but it's powered by eXp now.
Gotcha. And so for the brokerage owner, we have these conversations all the time. Most recently for me yesterday afternoon. Um, can you just maybe speak a little bit about the opportunity and the value and what the benefits are to the brokerage owner specifically, in your view?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, you don't lose your identity. A lot of the people who are looking at this company think, I've built up my brand, I've built up my team, I don't want to lose that. Sometimes they say, oh, I'm getting 100%. And I say, well, absolutely. You can still have your own office policies and manuals, but you need to take a look at this model because we have large brokerages all over the country joining for a reason, join for their own reasons. And if their motives are in the right place, they'll know that this will absolutely help their team overall. And that's what I personally love about eXp is that we're putting other people first.
Excellent. Well, thank
That
you
was
sorry, I think you may have cut
no,
out there,
that's
or I did.
okay.
Okay,
No, I was
wonderful.
just saying it was so nice to meet them at eXpCon.
It was great. It was fantastic. Thank you so much. We came back so pumped up. It was fantastic.
Great. Thanks, guys.
It's great.
Morning.
Thank you.
Good morning. Sorry I was a little late. Stepping off a plane, walking through the airport in the leadership meetings. Pretty darn cool. All right, next up we have Glenn Sanford. Glenn, come on up. I know you've got a lot to update us with today. Good morning, Glenn.
Good morning. One of my screens popped up and went over my eXp World screen. So yeah, obviously last week, it took me and I heard a few folks multiple days to sort of recover in a good way, but definitely some downtime over the weekend and even a little bit early in the week. But there's just so many great things again going on every day. I know that we are working diligently in the background to tighten up, and I think we even had yesterday the email, and I think Mitch is going to touch on a little bit later today relative to the messaging and some of the things that we're doing to just create a consistent message. So I couldn't be more happy with how we're rallying behind the scenes to build that out so that we're all building the same company, and that's really really exciting, because I think that as we mature, having that unified voice and value proposition and how we continue to build the real estate brokerage and all of that. I couldn't be more proud of the team. I've had a lot of time, well, this week and in previous weeks, to spend a lot of time chatting with numerous people in the field, and even yesterday I got a chance to spend another probably an hour or so with Mary Frances, and have been doing that multiple times during the week. And I can just tell you, we've got such an amazing leadership team here who cares deeply about the vision and values of the company. I couldn't be more proud. So, that being said, obviously, been seeing a fair number of people getting excited about just what's going on sort of on the stock side of the company. That's been really interesting to just sort of watch things sort of evolve there. And just keep in mind, we don't want to be overly promotional in our posts that we post in social media. Again, sort of this idea, we are all entrepreneurs, we're all marketers, and I think to some extent it's hard to take that hat off because it's so wired into our DNA. But just keep in mind that as we all know, stocks will go up and stocks will go down. Of course, we're building a great company, so we're pretty optimistic about what's going to happen short-term and long-term, especially given the backdrop of who are our competitors and what do we have in mind. So really excited about all that, but just be mindful when you do post some things that you're not a promoter, but more just providing information. So that's the key, and we'll continue to work on helping everybody, with the edges on where we want to, keep the message as a company, and concentrate on just continuing to build a great company in the background that all of you guys and gals can participate in. I had a great conversation with somebody yesterday, and the commentary that I think was really good is the idea that we want to continue to make the model more sustainable and also to enhance over time. So sustain and enhance is really the important part, and some of that really is going to come down to this idea that we're going to be dialing in. I know some of the folks, and maybe even some here, even in the auditorium here today, aren't going to be really excited about some of the ways that we're going to be dialing back in some of the things relative to attraction and some of the rules to the road that we're going to be implementing over the next month or so. But it's all with the idea of one of the big three values that we have as a company, which is sustainability, and being able to manage the messaging is going to be so key and important, because we don't want to be known as a company that just recruits. We want to be known first and foremost as a real estate brokerage that happens to have the best retirement program for agents and brokers, and that's really what we're going to be working on, and you'll see that in this amazing slide the marketing team has put together with the help of a lot of folks, that it's really about the brokerage first. There is the benefits side, but those are side benefits. They're significant because there are some folks that are going to make some very, very large numbers of dollars on that over time. But they're not the primary reason why agents and brokers should be here. And so you'll just see us continuing to sort of tamper down a number of things in that regard, so that we are respected by our peers, which I think is really important over time. Each of you are doing transactions with folks on the other side.
Hey, Glenn, we lost your audio.
Oh, did you guys, am I back?
You're back.
So not sure where you lost me, but we obviously want to be recognized for the core values that we have as an organization, and not the least of which is integrity. So anyway, just really super excited about everything going on in the background, and that's my update.
Hey, Glenn, if I could ask a question, and I'm going to put the link back in here into the chat box for everybody who hasn't seen it, but I know you were at the microcap conference. I think it was the week before last, and most people I think probably have not been to one of those. Can you just sort of describe what it's like there, what the event is, and what the purpose is, and what the atmosphere is like?
Sure. Yeah. The microcap conference, and we've done this is the second time we've done the microcap conference. They did one earlier this year, and then they did one this 2 weeks ago. And basically, it's focused on companies that are referred to as microcap. Means basically companies under about $500 million in market capitalization. We're in the 200 million market cap range, and you basically get an opportunity to meet with a number of investors that really like that space. They're looking for the diamonds in the rough, the up and coming companies that most people overlook because they're not followed by on Wall Street yet. And so, if you can find one as an investor and you can start to build a position and the company does perform, it's, you can get some really nice returns. And so for us as a company, one of the things that we want to continue to do is make sure that when we've got great comparables out there to look at as companies, one of them right now is Redfin, just went public back in July. And, I think that, if people start to look at, Redfin and us and us and Remax and us and Realgy and us and there's not really, that's basically our universe of public companies. I think they're going to get really excited, especially when they look at, how fast we're growing, what we're doing relative to cash flow and other things, and following, building a position over time and being part of that journey. So it's the purpose really is to see how well the ideas resonate, and then hopefully as we continue to grow, there may be opportunities to leverage some of these relationships that we build there as we continue to do other things. If we need a large capital raise or something like that, we'll already have some folks that are interested, follow us, maybe already built to help us. So there's a lot of really great reasons to go there. My primary mission, really, quite frankly, is for our agents and brokers to be the significant primary beneficiary of all the growth of the company. But part of making that real is also working with institutions and others who may be active buyers when some of our agents or brokers want to sell at some point. And so just continue to cultivate that market out there as well. So that's kind of the idea and the purpose. I think I had 12 one-on-ones. I did a presentation, which I think you can still get to from the press release and watch the presentation. And of course, then there's the video that I did, was just a quick little 2-minute overview on the company, and which has went over really well. I got some great comments back from some investors and all that as well.
Great. Thanks, Glenn. And I think probably on behalf of everybody, thanks for all of your effort. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Vicki. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, Glenn.
All right. Sherry White out of Wisconsin. And Sherry, I know we've had you up here before talking about your RDL role, but maybe just remind people what your region is, and then I think you have an announcement to make about something that's coming up soon.
Yes, we do. Okay, so I'm from Wisconsin, and the weather here is beautiful today. And as the regional development leader for the North Central area, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Illinois, as well as Iowa, North Dakota, and South Dakota are in my region. So 3 of those states were actually not yet launched in. However, I believe we will be launching very soon in North Dakota and in Iowa. So we're super stoked about that. And because NAR, or NAR, as a lot of people say, is in Chicago this year, I believe the dates are November 3rd through the 8th. That's in our region. So we are planning to put together an event for all of the eXp. Will be in Chicago for NAR, and looking forward to getting together with everybody, giving people an opportunity for a meet and greet. And we're holding that on the evening of November 3rd. It'll be late afternoon, early evening. Still working on the times. I think it'll be somewhere from 4 to 7, I believe. The location will be confirmed shortly, and we'll get that information out to everybody. So if you are planning to attend NAR this year in Chicago, we would love to get together with you. And if you have guests that you'd like to introduce to eXp and our team that'll be there, we'd love to have you. So we'll make sure that we get more information to you as the time gets a little bit closer. We're just nailing down a couple of the details right now. So we look forward to seeing everybody there.
And Sherry, just one last question. I don't think you've missed a live event since you've joined the company, and I'm trying to remember if your first one was it in Bellingham?
Yes, it was in Bellingham for the shareholder event, and I have not missed an event, and oh my gosh, I never ever will. It's just It's such an incredible opportunity to just meet everybody in person and just share so many great experiences. And I'd have to say that one of my favorite experiences was the Beach Olympics. Our team took second. Woohoo! So we had a blast, and so much great learning and networking goes on at those events. It's just absolutely not to be missed.
I think you're standing next to an Olympic champion, if I'm not mistaken, right to your
Thank
left
you.
there, right,
I'm
Vicky?
so glad you brought that up. I just could not be more excited that you brought that up, Sherry. Thank you. As an Olympic gold medalist, I really, really appreciate that.
Your team was awesome, Vicky, and we'll take the silver. We'll definitely give the gold to the president of the company, and we all had a great time. So it was too fun.
It was so fun. It absolutely was. There's just nothing like playing really dumb games with really competitive people. It just makes for a good time. All right. Well, thanks so much, Sherry. Looking forward to seeing you here in just a couple of weeks in Chicago.
Thank you.
Thanks. And speaking of eXpCon, let's go ahead and have Mitch Robinson up here. I mean, man, hey, Mitch and the entire marketing team, Gabe, Cynthia, Jesse. Wow, what an event! And again, it just was really amazing. I know you've got some updates for us.
Yeah, you bet, Vicky. Hi, everybody. It's great to be back on the virtual stage. I'm a little exhausted still from the eXpCon stage, and I wasn't able to join you last week. The second the event was over, some of us went to beaches like Gabe. Some of us just hid under a blanket for a day or so, but we're back and fired up. And it was again, I just want to share, it was great to meet so many of you in person. Um, Everybody on stage, behind the stage, anybody that presented, and the opportunity to engage with all of you and have you engage with each other. Um, that was the key. Um, we already have received unbelievable helpful comments and feedback via email and on Facebook. I've read every one of the comments and tried to reply to some when I have time. The important part for us, the next step, and while we're still super busy, is um, data, and what you give us in terms of feedback help us make these events even better. So we'll be sending out a fairly detailed survey. It probably won't take you more than 5 minutes, but there's kind of two parts to the survey. First of all, for those of you that attended eXpCon, we'll ask you a bunch of simple questions about the event, which help us understand again how to keep improving on it. And then the second part will be kind of our site selection survey. So many of you have had great ideas on where it should be. And as I mentioned, for those of you at eXpCon, there's so many different factors. Some of you, the hotel rate is super important. Some of you, you want a beach. Some of you are like, hey, airfare cost is important. Hotel things. And then we also think about, how to get the most bang for our buck out of our company dollars as well. So the second part of the eXpCon survey will ask you a bunch of questions on what's important to you for an event. And then we work with an outside company and we take that data and we start our site search. So as much as I would like to say, Phoenix is the best place, or Nashville, or New Orleans, or New York, or Seattle. We kind of look at the data first, and then we work with this company to see what's available and what kind of works for the largest group. So I'm super excited to get that started, and we're going to use that process not only for eXpCon but for shareholders, because what we want to do is announce both at the same time. Perhaps give you some sort of bundle discount for both and let you plan. So I think in future years, obviously our goal is when one eXpCon ends to immediately tell you where the next one is. But for this time, we're going to have you guys help us decide, and then we'll be able to announce both locations, obviously working with our leadership team, and have that out. I would guess by mid-December, you'll know where both events will be, and you'll be able to sign up for both. So that's what's going on there. A couple other very quick things for those of you that were at eXpCon. Next week, we'll be sending you details on how to get your headshots. I've seen some of them, and you all look fantastic. Congratulations. And then one other thing we introduced at eXpCon last week was the hashtag eXp Realty Proud. And if anybody does not know about that yet, or you do, if you go on Twitter right now and you do a search of the hashtag eXp Realty Proud, you will see tons of tweets on there. Some are from EXPCon, but there's been a lot in the past week, which is exactly what we want, is to share your excitement for the company with others. Now, always continue to remind all of you when you get on social, and Glenn was just talking about this, remember, especially when you're on Twitter, you are talking to multiple audiences. You're talking to your fellow agents. You're talking to potential agents that may want to join EXP. Investors look at that hashtag, as well as consumers trying to decide what agent they want to work with. So again, posts that work best on social where everyone can see it work for all those audiences together. So, you know, putting up a slide with, if I put up a slide with myself and my dog and I just put eXp Realty Proud, that doesn't mean as much as if I say, taking a few minutes off from working with clients to take my dog for a walk. That probably makes more sense. You want to show obviously a well-rounded personality, but just remember all these different audiences are kind of looking at what you post. And we also want other agents to understand, learn about you better as well if that's the environment you want to do it. Okay, I need to keep going fast. In the EXP News email that comes out every Thursday at 4 o'clock Pacific time, 7 o'clock p.m. on the East Coast, came out last night. There is some great stuff in there this week, most of which we announced at EXPCon last week, but obviously we want everybody to have access to it. In that email, first of all, was the new explain deck we've been working on. Many of you first got access to it or saw it at EXPCon, and read that email carefully. There'll be more versions coming out in different formats. Obviously, we will continue to evolve it, but many of you gave great feedback on that. We've already used it in some instances, and it seems to be doing the trick. And that will honestly be the guide for other things we start doing in the future. So there'll be way more things coming up kind of based on that. Very exciting that we introduced an eXp Realty consumer brochure yesterday. There's two versions. One you can just download and print, another and customize. And it's not a full listing presentation. This doesn't need to be. This is a different purpose. It's basically a short piece that you can hand out to current potential clients that just have a simple question. Tell me about EXP. It has our core values on there and some other important information that your clients or potential clients will enjoy. And finally, in the EXP News mail this week, which we introduced last week at EXPCon, is the EXP brand store. I am already amazed at the amount of orders that are coming into this store. We know some of you like to use certain vendors and go through the marketing approval process, but others of you have been begging for this, I think, for a long time. We will continue to add more things to this store based on what you asked for. That will be another survey coming out very quickly, but there's men's and women's clothing on there. There's a cap that I think is just about sold out, and some other items. So again, look for the email you received last night from EXP News, and you can get to that link, and we'll also share it in other ways for you as well. All right, Vicki, Jason, sorry I took so long, but there's a lot of cool stuff going on that we're pumped to share with everybody.
There sure is, Mitch, and no apologies at all. We love everything you guys are doing. That's awesome.
All right, thanks. Have a great day, everybody.
All right. Thanks, you too. All right, next up we have Allison Taylor from our accounting department. Allison, why don't you come on up? I know we've had some changes in our Operation Payment Express and doing everything we can to make sure that our agents are paid as quickly as possible. And particularly with rentals, we have some new changes coming up. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Good morning, Allison.
Morning, Vicki. Pardon my voice. Yes, we are in the midst of a concerted effort to make certain that as many payments as possible head to lock boxes. It's our intention that no payments for any kind of settlement, even now the rentals, referrals, home warranties, anything go to the Bellingham office. As much as we can redirect to a lockbox, that means we're going to be quicker, more efficient processing everything. It's going to streamline our cash process and make everything easier and quicker to resolve any issues for all the agents and brokers out there. So um, the newest rollout is a specific lockbox for rentals, referrals, BPOs. We do have a PDF that we've put out there. It's just important that all you brokers make certain that your agents have it and are aware of the type of transactions that they're dealing with. And of course, as you already know, all of the lock boxes are the addresses should be on all of the DE or the DAs and are dependent on what state you're in. And the only one that is going to be the same no matter your state is for your rentals, referrals, BPOs, home warranties, things like that. So if you have any questions or you're not sure, you can pop into the accounting office, or we'd be happy to send you a PDF of those addresses. Those of you who have seen the PDF already know that there are a couple states that might be missing off of it, but pretty self-explanatory. If you're a Western state, your DAs should all have the Salt Lake City um, address on it. If you're California, there's a specific lockbox for that. Same for Connecticut and associates. And again, now we have the addition of the specific one for all those oddballs that we love.
So Allison, if I'm an agent and I close a rental transaction and I'm handed the check directly, I mail it to this lockbox now, correct? Not in
Correct.
Bellingham?
Correct.
Okay.
It should
And if
it
I'm
should be
working
directed
with
to the lockbox.
if I'm working with a property management company and they're sending the check, the same thing applies. They send it directly to the lockbox now, correct?
Correct. As
Great.
we are attempting to keep all manual cash processing and depositing functions out of out of out of a manual process. The more we can automate it with a lockbox, the better, and that means everything will go faster and easier. And hoping that that can just cut down on some of the time that some of those things take, and this will help us get that way. We have put out um, an email campaign to all the title companies and as many people as we could hit with all of that information, but there's always people that miss it. And like I said, the biggest change is that agents will just need to be aware of what type of transaction they're dealing with. So just because those rentals and things like that will have that separate lockbox. So that's not to say that if something goes to the wrong one that we won't figure it out, but we are attempting to direct all money out of the Bellingham office and into the lockboxes. So change, but a good one.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much, Allison. And again, if anyone has any questions about that, start with your state broker who should have that information. And then, of course, our transaction team can help with that as well.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Allison.
Have a good Friday.
All righty. Thanks, Allison, very much. And one additional announcement, Alan Goldman, who couldn't be here this morning, and this is really, I think, primarily to the state administrative brokers in the room. There have been a lot of questions about E&O certificates and proof of insurance, which will be distributed here perhaps as soon as today, but within the next couple of days. So keep your eye out for those. And Vicki, I know you're remote and maybe low on battery, but I can't let you go or can't let you drop off until we have a chance to celebrate something, which is this week, the new agent report. And thank goodness you decided to move to an abridged version each week. We have set a new record. So we welcome 162 agents this week. And that 162 comes from Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Canada, Colorado, Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Illinois, Kentucky, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas, and Virginia. And here's just some numbers that are kind of interesting. I think everybody who's been listening to these updates over the course of the last year or so knows that there are certain markets where we generally have large numbers. This week, we have a tie for the most number of agents introduced during the week, and it goes to both Florida and Texas. So Florida and Texas both welcoming 28 people. Also note that between Alberta and Ontario. We have 10 new people who are with us within the last week in Canada. Excited about that. California, 11. So many. I won't go through the whole list in terms of numbers, but thanks again to Randy Rand and the whole brokerage team, Russ Chioda and Judy, for doing everything they're doing in Florida. So Vicki, I think you probably want to dance.
I think everybody needs to dance to welcome all of our new eXp agent owners. Let's do it.
Okay, perfect. And last but not least, moving right along, safe and sound back home, Brad Anderson. Good morning, Brad.
Good morning, eXp World, eXp Nation. Good morning, Vicki. Good morning, Jason. Good morning, everybody. Very, very, very exciting times. I'm not going to take much time up here because between the marketing and eXp World and the new eXp Enterprise and everything that's going on with the marketing team and our technology team and just with the growth, I'm tongue-tied for the first time in my life. Which thing I'm most excited about. So I'm just going to pick one thing, which is really hard to do here at eXp, to just pick one value proposition to share with you all. And, you know, there's so many tips and things we could do this morning, Jason, but what I'm going to tell everybody is we're going to focus today on the new one-stop shop, everything for everybody, all things eXp, which is your eXp Enterprise application. So if you don't have an appointment, please don't run off when you leave or when this session is over, because at the top of the hour, we just posted this on the calendar this week, that today at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which is noon for you folks over on the right coast, we're going to do an overview, a pretty in-depth overview of the eXp Enterprise app. And the three main pieces I want to focus on with you all today is going to be tracking your transactions, which are all in the enterprise. We're going to talk about your stock in the company that's awarded to you. And many of you, in fact, if not most of you, are part of the Agent Equity Program. We're going to show you how to access that information, how to get, reports, and then also there's another area of the enterprise application that now has your revenue share groups and how all that works. And so what I want to do is I want to do a little bit more of a detailed presentation than I had time to do at eXpCon. And in all fairness, for those of you who were unable to make it this year to eXpCon, I want to share with you what we were able to share with everybody who showed up in Florida. So today at 9 will be that session, eXp Enterprise. We're going to do this. If you can't stay, folks, we're going to do this for about the next 4 weeks. And so please, if you can make it, there's some pretty critical information you need to know about. It's not just logging into the Enterprise app and putting up a picture on your profile and saying, okay, I'm done. There's some really important pieces we're going to talk about, including adding your active markets, how you're showing up in the directory, how the directory is showing up in the search engines when people are searching Google and Bing and Yahoo. We're going to start being a force to be reckoned with when it comes to finding agents in local markets. But if you're not using the eXp Enterprise application properly and putting in the correct information, there's a good chance you're going to miss out on some business and people might not be able to find you. So please stay after. A lot of great sessions, folks. We had nearly 25 hours this week of live education and training. It all started with the mastermind session that meets every single Monday. And folks, this is not just for new agents. This is for any agent anywhere in the world. And I'm telling you, there's some of the best mastermind sessions going on in here. We have a commercial group that meets that Sheila Mack has been kind enough to step up for me and moderate and kind of lead that group. We had an amazing blogging social media mastermind duo yesterday. We did the blogging mastermind at 9 and then at 10 with social media. Folks, we're starting to have folks come outside of eXp into our world and to share. Many of you may know Bill Gassett. I met Bill Gassett more than 10 years ago on Active Rain, and he came into our world yesterday. I'm going to give you all a link to the Facebook group. It's in the text chat. Oops, that's not nice. Let me grab that real quick. It's our blogging excellence group. And let me just pull this up and give you all a copy in the text chat. Whether you blog or not is not really relevant. If you want to see how people are using blogging and social media to make deposits into their bank accounts, these are mastermind groups, folks. It's not one person standing up there teaching, training. It's a collective, collaborative, participating, engaging group of real estate professionals, not just eXp Realty. We have agents from Remax, Keller Williams, Century 21, Coldwell Banker. They're starting to come into these mastermind groups. They're starting to see how we can use this cloud technology to enhance and grow your business. So definitely check that out. Bill, we recorded the session and you can go watch that. You will learn so much in that one recording if you go to the Real Estate Blogging with Excellent group on Facebook, which we're going to be transferring over, and I'm not going to give up too much information, but there's a lot of exciting things coming up with Facebook we're doing. There's more exciting things, and I can't let the cat out of the bag today, but a lot of exciting updates, upgrades, just across the board that you folks will be seeing here shortly. So there's just so many exciting things. But again, I would start with the eXp Enterprise training today. This will probably replace the eXp Tools for Success training, because now everything you need, and it will continue to grow, is all contained in that one eXp Enterprise application. We'll show you that today at 9. Thanks for the time, Jason. Thanks, Vicki. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Before you go away there, Brad, that I didn't realize that about Bill Gassett. That's amazing. I've been, I think since 2009, probably been watching him, and amazing success story here in Massachusetts. Now, you are the musical talent, or at least the musical talent, maybe along with Vicki up on stage. And I know last year, and if you just mute your mic, because I get a little bit of an echo.
Sorry.
I know last year we did this for the first time in the auditorium, and there was a lot of squeals and noises and background, but heck, it was fun anyway. So I was wondering if you might just lead the group once more to celebrate Vicki's birthday, which happens to be today.
It's Vicki's birthday. Oh my gosh.
You're so sweet.
How about if we all unmute and just sing happy? Oh, wow, that might be a train wreck, huh?
Well, it was last time, but that's okay.
Why don't we unmute and everybody sing happy birthday?
If we crash the servers, at least we know.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday to you.
Happy
birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
And many more, many more, many more.
To you.
Okay, we'll never do that again. But
Wow.
hey, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
Happy
That
birthday.
was like
The EXP tone deaf.
it was
I
awesome.
love that.
We're going to need a bigger stage for the
I loved
band.
it. Made my day. Made my day. Thank you so much, everyone.
See, we
Happy
just made
birthday,
history again, and that's what I'm talking about. Every day something happens in this company, and it's really because of all of you that make this company so special. And so, happy birthday, Vicki! Have a wonderful celebration day, and I personally want to thank your parents that you're here.
Aw, well, I will let them know.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks.
All right. Hey, thanks everybody for being in here this week. Tentatively right now, we're scheduled to introduce some pretty amazing people, just as we do every week. Some new amazing people next week on Friday. So if that all, and hope everybody has a great and safe weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Happy birthday.